The audio for this presentation has been recorded on behalf of Oleg Ponomarev, a freelance photographer based in St. Petersburg, Russia. This presentation will focus on his project The Transition. The image of Ignat was nominated in the Portraits category and for the World Press Photo of the Year award. The people presented in the project are transgender men and women who are in the process of transitioning. Those transitioning experience widespread stigmatization, violence, and abuse from society, friends, and family. A recent amendment to the Russian Constitution further restricts the freedom to express sexuality and gender identity. Ignat. I cannot remember a single happy day at school. Both students and teachers exerted pressure. I was treated like a criminal. Even the school psychologist bullied me. He told me of a rumor that I was talking about myself in the masculine gender. I opened up to him and asked him to keep it a secret. He was the first stranger to whom I told everything, and it was a huge mistake. When the whole school found out, insults and humiliations became permanent. It was a living hell. Thanks to the transition, I stopped feeling like a stranger in my own body. Self-improvement is not yet finished. I want to be comfortable for myself. Sophia. I recognized that I needed transition at the age of 32. Although I had already experienced certain feelings at the age of 3. I liked to make outfits with female clothing. My mother was a rather authoritarian person and imposed a certain image on me that I had to live up to, like a knight from a fairy tale. I've always had a vague desire for something different, but I was used to hiding my emotions. Mother hasn't accepted my transition. To her, I am a boy, a son, and that's it. For a long time, I couldn't accept the idea of being transgender. Once I went to talk to a psychologist who told me to stop fooling around and give it up. I haven't gone back there since. Katerina. I learned that transsexuality was about me when I was 25. From the age of 12, I had been trying to choose what was better, schizophrenia or a split personality. Trying to establish a link between myself and the outside world made me feel crazy, and that was scary. One day when I came home from a club, I realized that I didn't want to take the makeup off. I sat in the bathroom feeling empty. Then there were vivid dreams about becoming a woman. They were so bright and real that when I woke up I realized that's what I wanted. I had to pay a lot to become the person I am today. Was it worth it? Of course. Tim. When I was 16, a social transition began abruptly and radically. I visited a psychiatrist and said, I am transgender, give me a medical certificate. Do something about it. She sent me to a psychologist to do some tests and finally said, transgender people do not exist. We do not issue certificates. I encounter aggression quite often. One day, some acquaintances beat me with iron rods for not being a real dude. They believed that I was a freak who shouldn't exist. The aggression comes from a lack of understanding and education. But I believe that everything is in balance. Having survived the pain, something good will come. Marina. Adults have been saying that homosexuality is bad since I was a kid. Then religion told me it's a sin. At school, the kids cut off my hair, kicked me and spat on my face, like wild beasts. Unfortunately, I have encountered aggression even after school years. I always have a bunch of keys in my hand. After the transition, everything got better. Most of the time, I like what I see in the mirror, but it's more about formation of personality. The most important changes did not come from hormonal drugs, but from what I read, observed, and thought. Work needs to be done in society to stop the shame, and that starts with changing the law. Alexei. Name changed. My relationship with my parents after the transition became even better. We learned to talk to each other and began to understand one another. I think I'm very lucky. There was a great desire to maintain communication from both sides. Since childhood, I associated myself exclusively with male roles. I was always a man in my thoughts. I dreamed of growing up and becoming Patrick Swayze. I couldn't see myself as a woman in the future because I was not a woman. Inside, I haven't changed. I was born this way and will remain so. The transition is not about how I became different despite everything. It's self-improvement. Elisa. When I was at school and university, interacting with society was hard. I was extremely shy of my body. I had an androgynous appearance, and in small rural places you would be bullied if you were different. Nobody understood or accepted me. The worst emotional stress came from the relationship with my parents. Due to my body dysmorphia, serious problems arose. I could hardly look at my reflection in the mirror. Now I experience fewer issues and am at harmony with myself. I would like to move somewhere in the EU. I think that for an LGBT person, it's pointless to stay in Russia. Yekaterina. I never asked anyone to address me only by the feminine gender. I see no point in this. I do not want to bother anyone, to look for the guilty ones, and I don't understand such a position. You can even call me Ivan if you have the heart to say it. When I was 31, my third marriage ended. My psychological state began to scare me, but I wanted to live. A year and a half ago, I started my transition, and now I'm here, in the state that I had visited only in my wildest fantasies. There are plenty of reasons to be proud. I'm alive, having fun, and doing what seemed impossible. Maxime. I have been thinking about and planning transition since I was 13. My mother said that she will continue to communicate with me, but she does not want to explain to her future husband or anyone else why she calls a bearded man her daughter. This is sad, but I'm glad that she won't stop loving me. People address me in the masculine gender, which is important for me, but I have encountered aggression. When I was 14, my hair was green, I was in the subway and some guy punched me. He probably thought I was gay. I think the reason lies in the Soviet conservative upbringing and the rejection of things that you do not understand.